MILegalize, the group attempting to bring a vote on recreational marijuana use in Michigan, filed an appeal with the Supreme Court earlier this week. And they're hoping to put this on the ballot in 2018. The group is arguing that the 345,000 signatures they turned in this year are valid, and they were unfairly stymied from putting the issue on the November 2016 ballot. This is according to MILegalize reporting. So, yeah, they're asking the U.S. Supreme Court to remand the case with an order to fairly canvass and qualify MILegalize's petitions for inclusion at the next regular election, the 2018 gubernatorial race, according to a press release. The press release said the group also is gearing up to launch another petition in the spring of 2017. While only 252,523 signatures were required, we turned in 350,000 signatures. And they popped off this law after the turn-in. The legislature changed Michigan law to limit the signature collection period to a strict 180 days. Now, if you were before this thing that happened in June of 2016, before they did that, before they changed the law, which they did do, before they changed the law, this 180-day rule only applied when a constitutional amendment was called for in a petition drive, or if that's what they were asking for. MILegalize was not asking for a constitutional amendment, so that wouldn't have automatically applied. And in fact, there have been petition drives that did go through that didn't have to have that 180-day rule, that were constitutional amendments in the past. But we can get into this 180-day thing. I did a video about it a long time ago. It's not a legit thing. And the reason they did it is because the government in Michigan is right-wing Republicans, from top to bottom, from left to right. Every district you go, there's only a few Democrats in the whole state now. And the Republicans have both houses. They got the governor's mansion with Governor Lead Pipe Snyder back there pulling the strings. They got Bill Schuette, one of the most anti-marijuana attorney generals in the country. They got, the Supreme Court will do whatever they want them to. So, they don't want MILegalize to pass their legalization. They don't even want legalization. They don't even really want recreational marijuana, but they're dealing with it, and they're trying to make that something different. And believe me, if you tell them that there's some kind of a time when we will have it on the ballot again to vote on it, they will try to pass a recreational marijuana law between now and then that looks something like nothing we want. I'm not sure what they would do. I mean, it would probably look something like Washington, maybe, where the liquor control people handle the marijuana. Maybe it won't. I don't even know what Michigan has in mind, if anything. But to think that they're going to sit on the sideline and just try to fight MILegalize more is one thing. Of course they'll do that. But to think that they're not going to try to preemptively come up with their own legalization strategy that favors their interests, yes, they will. That is what they do in Michigan. That's all they do in Michigan. Michigan is run by business elites. That's who's in the government. So MILegalize sued the state, claiming that the signatures should be counted. Michigan's Court of Appeals said no. Michigan Supreme Court said no. MILegalize said they filed the petition Tuesday with the U.S. Supreme Court. Once a docketing number is issued, third parties seeking to file amicus briefs have 20 days to request permission from the parties. They're hoping to move this along quickly in the Supreme Court. MILegalize, quote, MILegalize welcomes amicus briefs from anyone supporting this important battle to protect both petitioning and voting rights and sensible cannabis law reform. The press release said, and then quote, the case may set groundbreaking national precedent for both First Amendment rights and cannabis reform as an early test of the Trump administration and the new Supreme Court bench. Quote, the case raises First, Fifth, and 14th Amendment due process and equal protection violations due to the gross injustices perpetrated by the Secretary of State, Board of Canvassers, and Bureau of Elections in refusing to process MILegalize's 354,000 signatures submitted for the 2016 election, the press release added. Claims ruled in favor of the state, and Michigan Court of Appeals and Michigan Supreme Court declined to hear the case. In a press release this week, MILegalize said they filed a petition Tuesday with the U.S. Supreme Court once. We already heard that. So, yeah, as I say, I live in Michigan, so I'll do these Michigan stories a lot. And especially MILegalize, I help canvass for them. MILegalize was the only serious petition drive in 2016. Or whenever, 2015, 2016, to get on the 2016 ballot, MILegalize was the only serious one. Now, there's also Abrogate Marijuana in Michigan. They have a really simple platform. There should be no laws governing marijuana, period. And I like that. I like what they're doing. I like their angle. And, seeing how marijuana was made illegal because of a bunch of racist propaganda, and you had the paper companies and the oil companies and the DuPont petrochemical nylon manufacturers all wanting to take over the game of marijuana, of hemp. The pharmaceutical industries, who's already selling hemp, is already selling cannabis products. Basically, we're like, okay, we don't even need that anymore. We got all these other drugs we're going to start cranking out. Basically, because of the way it was made illegal and the reasons and the corrupt government entities involved, because of all that, just that alone, yeah, it should be completely no laws governing it, right? No taxes on the sales of it, no, arbitrary limits on how much marijuana someone's allowed to possess or how many plants someone's allowed to grow or whatever. But they weren't really serious. If they were serious, I didn't see it, because as a canvasser, I was at key places time and time again, and all I seen from them was a couple of times that they were out canvassing. Like they definitely were at the Democratic debate in Flint, and maybe a couple other major events surrounding the actual presidential election that were in Michigan. A lot of events were in Michigan, and that's when a lot of signatures could have been picked up by either canvassing organizations, and probably was by both. But, and if you look at Abrogate Marijuana's platform, they are trying for an actual constitutional amendment. So they would have to do their stuff in 180 days, regardless of what happened last June. And back to MILegalize, this is the newest update. I do updates about MILegalize as much as possible. I canvassed for them. I got them hundreds and hundreds of signatures. I fundraised it. I personally gave them money. And I was really passionate about it. And when we didn't get on the ballot and all the stuff that happened leading up to that, I was truly heartbroken. The democratic process in Michigan was definitely hijacked by the governor and his cronies, and we're gonna come and try it again. And now the new canvas drive, I will keep you updated on that as new details come in. But so far, the word is maybe they're looking at a spring launch. And from what I understand, Marijuana Policy Project is going to help out with this drive, and there's a lot of publicity behind this already coming in, and that's only going to build. And I think that if anything, this Supreme Court filing is a pretty good publicity stunt, because it's just another headline. If nothing else, no news is bad news if it's getting you headlines, is putting your name out there. Because now you have more people that don't know what's going on. Now you have more people having opinions. You have more people having opinions in favor of you. So it's good. That's all I have for now. Stay tuned. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my channel. especially if you live in Michigan, because you'll continue to get these updates. And I'm going to talk more about the new marijuana laws that were the medical marijuana laws that were signed into law by the governor, and how they are going to affect the people that are involved in the medical marijuana program right now. I've already did one clip about that. As I find out more, I will do more clips about that. Also, I have been talking to dispensaries in the local area where I live, in the Flint area, but I want to do a little bit more in-depth reporting about that, and I will eventually. I want to talk to people on the ground and see how they feel about the new laws, and see if they're actually going to, actually try to get one of these new licenses. If anybody has talked to their local municipalities to see if they're even in the works of trying to draw up these permits and licenses and stuff, and assessment fees and all this stuff that they are responsible for. What the new medical marijuana law that the state passed does is it sets up a pretty weird bureaucracy or infrastructure around the taxing and the regulating part of the new law. And we asked for regulations and we got them, but we didn't ask for a regulation nightmare. We didn't ask for the most regulated business in the world. Like, there's nothing that's regulated more. If you can tell me something that's regulated more than medical marijuana looks like it's about to be regulated in Michigan, I'd like to see that, because you could probably go to a hospital and find less rules that you have to follow. That's not true, but we're talking about individual industries, and it's almost like, okay, you got cameras in your grow facilities or cameras everywhere you go. You want to have cameras in certain places, but you don't want to have them over your shoulder, knowing that on the other end of that camera could be a state actor that just might not like the way you look that day or whatever, and the way that they've been using these marijuana laws that we've passed so far is to arrest us. And the way that they've done our fees in Michigan is they've taken our fees and they've given it to police departments to buy more equipment to do more raids. And we've actually asked for less raids, and we've seen an increase in raids. So we don't, we're going to continue to hammer at MILegalize. We're going to continue to report and hammer and help out abrogate Michigan, because they deserve their fair try too, and I see them on message boards already talking about this and that, and maybe they'll see this video. Everybody, has a goal, and MILegalize is basically one of the best packages I've seen. So I'm going to fight for that. I'll help abrogate out too. If I have a chance to get petitions signed for them, it's not a big deal. Like, I will have their petition and a MILegalize petition at the same time. That's how I feel about it. If I feel like I look at what you got and I would sign it, and I feel strongly about it, I'm going to help you out. So there you have it. If anybody has anything they want to know or want me to talk about these Michigan laws, or about the future of the MILegalize campaign, or if you know something that I need to know, just drop it in the comments and I'll look into it.